welcome back to Bookish Theories. In today's video, we'd like to talk about Stray Kids' Rockstar, focusing on a little breakdown of the prologue to see what it can tell us about the concept of this upcoming album. Now, just a month after the release of Social Path, Stray Kids announced their comeback with a cinematic prologue introducing us to both the title and the concept of the album. Following 5 Star, this time the boys are coming back with Rockstar, and like their previous projects, the title itself is a pun with a double meaning. This character that precedes the word star, in fact, is pronounced log, which kinda sounds like the English word rock. This is a character that means happy, so the title is essentially a pun between Rockstar and Happy Star. In the prologue, the concept of this new project is first introduced with the story of a young boy facing contrasting emotions right before going on stage. This is a story that begins 30 minutes before the concert. The clock tells us that it's 3:25, and right off the bat, this is a little Easter egg referencing Stray Kids' debut date. As a band of children waits for their turn to perform, one of them is still sleeping, and Felix's narration wonders if perhaps we should wake him up. As he reassures us that he's having the sweetest dream, the visuals of the video shows us a group of people in a school bus wearing clown masks. Before we know it, the clowns invade a bank staging a robbery, and this scene seems to have been inspired by the robbery from The Dark Knight Rises. At this point, however, the increasingly chaotic scene is still perceived as happy by the child. Like an actual dream one might have, the child initially accepts all the events taking place at face value, and even if the dream gets stranger and stranger as time goes by, the more unsettling details are still not registered as such. As the robbery takes place, Hyunjin enjoys the moment and Han smiles at us. The computer screen tells us that this is the happy bank, so Stray Kids embody this feeling as they enjoy the sunny weather in the middle of a heist. As Lino and Sumi play fight, we also get a second Easter egg referencing their debut date, and on the side, Ayan is painting a portrait of Jeremy, which is the character that Lino himself created when he was a child. This very much tells us that at this point we're still in the mind of the young boy taking a nap, but as Felix wonders if this beautiful dream will last forever, Bang-chan jumps in telling us otherwise. Chan's intervention transforms the happy dream into a nightmare that wakes him up, so we might even go as far as to say that the two of them kind of embody two opposing sides of the psyche. Felix is David Attenborough in the entire thing. His narration is calm, collected, analytical, but when Bang-chan jumps in, his sudden interruptions trigger far more negative emotions. Felix seems to represent the more logical and rational side of the brain, while Bang-chan the intrusive thoughts that are more upsetting and difficult to control. When the child wakes up, Felix tells us that it's almost time, and the text on screen notifies us that the concert will begin in 5 minutes. The negative emotions triggered by the nightmare though still linger, and his frustration soon turns into anger. As Felix wonders how the concert will end, Chan's side of the psyche replies that the emotions within will begin to rouse, and he gets angry when things don't go his way. The child's growing frustration at this point is portrayed in the form of a shipwreck. Stray Kids are pirates on a ship called Anger, and as the sailors are possessed by Red Fury, their problem with anger literally stalls them from getting to their treasure. Overcome by this feeling the child doesn't know how to deal with, Felix rationally explains that sometimes anger can turn into anxiety. In the video, this new feeling is portrayed with Stray Kids looking up at the giant clock showing 3:25, which once again references their debut. As the snow falls, we can also see giant monoliths behind them, and these visuals can actually have a symbolic meaning. For one, the clock represents the source of the child's anxiety, that is, the concert coming soon. The monoliths in the back instead look like pieces of domino, so maybe they're meant to show the domino effect that negative emotions trigger within us. In the video, happiness turns into fear, fear into anger, anger into anxiety, so it's like an emotional domino that the child cannot stop. In a similar way, the snow might also symbolize his emotions literally snowballing and growing more and more difficult to control. Even if Felix rationally tells us that there's no need to be afraid, Bang-chan reveals that anxiety is something we create ourselves, and sure enough, the video shows us the intrusive anxiety cracking the walls of reality and creeping in the real world. These visuals portray the way these negative emotions start within us but very much affect the reality that surrounds us. Yes, it's something that we manifest ourselves, but it's also very real to the people suffering from it, so to an extent, Felix and Bang-chan seem to show two different perspectives of a person trying to deal with it. On the one hand, Felix reassures us that everything will be great, so it's like that inner voice telling us to keep calm even when we're not. In the video it says that to succeed, one must go beyond these emotions and find a way to enjoy the moment, and this is a great advice. On the other hand, however, here comes Bang-chan, who is the other, more negative inner voice. To counteract Felix's efforts, he reminds us that it won't be easy at all, and in the video we see a shot of a time bomb set to explode as soon as the concert starts. When the time finally comes, we see 8 children entering the the stage, and the bomb going off as they get ready to show the audience how they rock. These are Stray Kids themselves, portrayed as literal children as they confront contrasting emotions on their way to perform. Since the title of the album is a pun between rock star and happy star, this comparison hints at the idea that once the boys get on stage, they are able to overcome the negative emotions and eventually find happiness as they rock and roll. The focus on fear, anger and anxiety, however, might also imply that the album might talk about their struggles with these feelings as well as their ways to overcome them. The video referencing their debut and Stray Kids being portrayed as literal children might suggest that these contrasting emotions are something they've had to deal with since the very beginning, but another possible interpretation is that these emotions make them feel like kids on their debut date every time they go up on stage. To know what Stray Kids have in store for us, for now we'll have to wait and see, but in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.